Hello everybody and welcome back to Misfit Artist Drawing Tutorials. Today we're still going over different zombie types. Just to remind you, this isn't going over any specific genre or game or show of zombies or even anything that we've used. It's just trying to get a hold on how to design and depict special infected or mutations for your own zombies and fan arts. This can be applied to drawing for specifically Left 4 Dead or whatnot, but just very broad strokes of tutorial here. So this one specifically is going to be focusing on the classical boomer, large, bloated, special infected. The big things to keep in mind is that this is a mutation of our basic zombie. So we want the same basics in style, proportions. We want it to feel like it could be from the same show. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our basic Jared over here and bring it over to traced again for those basic proportions. Then we can enlarge and mutate it and make it all kinds of weird and fun. Again, take your time to do your undersketch. Don't rush things. And of course, also tell a unique story with each zombie if you can, if you're not duplicating your zombies to make a horde. Whenever you draw it, you want it to feel like you know how this guy got infected, what this girl was doing when she got bit, all that good stuff. Something else to keep in mind when designing a mutated quote-unquote fat zombie is that if it's just a large fella, then yeah, you just draw a big guy and make it normal. But this isn't just a big guy, this is a mutation. So take the aspect of your virus or curse or whatever it is and put it on them. Use that to emphasize the stomach or whatever part you're bloating up. The fat belly is the focal point of your design, so use your infection to draw that eye in. So again, going back to our basic tutorial, when you're discovering what your infection is it magical and makes crystals pop up around them? Then if it's a boomer and the big thing is that, oh, it's such a big belly, oh, he's getting so large. Again, find that focal point, and normally for a boomer or a bloated type of zombie, it will be that belly. So put that mutation on the belly, load it up with some crystals. Don't make it too messy, but make it the point that our eye is drawn to, and we realize that's a very large fella there. Otherwise, again, you're just drawing a fat guy, and that's not what makes a mutation. Maybe even the bite would be there on the stomach, so you can see that's where the infection started, and then it grew and it festered from there. So this is actually still keeping with that same arm proportion because the stomach is so much bigger. It makes the rest of him look kind of stumpy. You can also, do the vice versa. We could just shrink the head a little bit, and then that makes the stomach look all the much bigger. I'm just gonna add a little bit more fat onto him, but wherever fat is getting added, we're gonna keep adding more boils and everything. I think one of the biggest things when you mutate a zombie is just, again, whatever causes the zombification, whatever the other natural symptoms are, you need to make those more extreme as well. You don't want to just extend an arm for a charger. He's not just a guy who worked out, in theory. You can also try to keep in mind, like, where is the mass coming from? Maybe this guy. So, like, normally you have a neck. Like, even on our little basic Jared over there, he had some neck to him. For this, no neck. And we're also going to shrink the head down just a little bit. Yeah. And then, because in theory we want him to be bigger than our main guy. I still have the head selected. Stop it. There we go. Edit. Free transform. There we go. See, now we have the head about the same size. but squat into that a little bit more. You know, the belly is still larger than the feet. There's a thing in character design, which is basically just that you don't want to have anything be the same height as something else. You know, you want your torso bigger or smaller than your legs. You don't want your head the same size as your torso. Which when you're drawing in a relatively I'm trying to think what the best word for it. When you're drawing and using some normal anatomy, it's pretty easy. I mean, yeah, obviously the head isn't the same size as the torso, but when you're designing like a cartoon character or something, it's a very different thing to keep in mind. Let's see here. I'm having a little bit of trouble finding the chest to tummy here. So the shoulder is going to be... And this is one of the things, just draw. Don't forego your sketch layer. Don't rush through it, because that sketch layer working is going to save you. Let's go ahead. We're going to change the pose up a little bit. If we're imagining this is like a concept piece, we'll let him have his arms out. Yeah. It's actually a little silly, I think. I mean, it's a little wild. Yeah, so again, we're talking about like, so this arm, we're going to keep a little big. We're going to let this arm be a little smaller. Because again, when you have things that are still normal, it shows how wrong this is. Because for all you know, if you've just seen the Boomer and you didn't see this guy, you might think that I just always draw my arms big like that. But if you have Boomer next to this guy, then you see, wait a minute, that his arm is bigger. And then on top of that, if you have one little baby arm, it shows that all the more. See, as I just kind of erase some of his extra mass. And see, that's something you can do right there. Just draw the things that, you know, don't necessarily make your image look better, but let you figure it out, and then just erase it later. You know, you aren't recording everything like I am, so no one's gonna know when you just how much you drew under it, and it doesn't matter as long as your end result is something you like. And we can do a tutorial later about how to draw like quickly and efficiently, and just habits to get into. But the biggest habit you can do if you just want to draw faster is just practice and understand that you're not going to be, you know, fast right off the bat. So let's see here, we'll go ahead and do this. So now I see this guy's getting kind of into his own, and you can see how different he is already. So this guy's not going to have any of the fungus on his head, because for, you know, there's like, it's all getting funky in his belly. I think something that always helps to make a zombie is just, and again, this is like one of those good standard rules of thumb, is just, they always need a good mouth. I don't know what I was thinking with this mouth. We're just going to Control Z right on out of there. However, and also if you're, again, another thing about, if you're a traditional artist and you're wondering how to do like an underlay like this, again, there's a lot of people have been doing stuff like this way before Photoshop. Get a table. If you can, light tables on Amazon are as low as like $20, and you can get one that fits like a standard sketchbook, and then you can draw your Jared on one page and have it under there if you need it for this. Or, I mean, you don't necessarily have to draw over top of it, just have it up so you can see it. You could do that. Just hold it up to a light, like literally take your paper, have one in front of it, and look up to the light. You can do that. If you have a clear, like a glass table, put a flashlight under that. There are ways that you can get around this if you want to be creative and you want to draw some spooky stuff. You know, just go ahead and rock and roll. I just want to go over that real quick in case I'm not already time-lapsed. I don't know how we're going to be doing this. So this guy, we're going to do another kind of thing here. His eyes are probably going to be a little extra small. His eyes aren't going to be this big, but this is the eye sockets. If we're saying that his eyes like here. And just like a little baby nose. Again, keeping in some of the same elements that we did for him. He has some hair. I feel like this is looking like someone I know. I don't know who I'm accidentally drawing, but if they see this video, they're gonna be mad at me. But I feel like I know this guy from somewhere. I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe we won't get through 3 zombies today. We're already at a half hour here. But so we'll just do a little bit of that. I also feel like another weird trope about like the big fat zombies. It's always like a tourist. It's always someone in like a Hawaiian shirt that came to this tropical island just to get away for a day, and that's when the zombie virus came. Because something that you may not have noticed is that it takes effort to hold your jaw up. When I was working at the zoo, actually, and it's gonna be a really weird story, but trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. When I was working at the zoo, I learned that camels, as they get older, they will hang their lips down. Like, they'll still keep their mouths closed, because that's like a very standard thing to do, so you don't get flies in your mouth all the time. But as they get older, they get lazier, and their lips just kind of hang down. They're still able to bring it up, and they do, but their natural state becomes to keep it down. That's like why when like you fall asleep, like you snore and you yawn and everything in your sleep, but also like you're not using your muscles to keep your mouth closed, so otherwise gravity would kind of take hold. That's why letting the mouth kind of hang and sometimes even do a little back and forth motion feels more dead, because it's something that we have come to just naturally do. Because again, keeping your mouth closed means that no bugs get in. No one can like punch you in the teeth, I guess. I don't know, but it's something that we do. It's polite, but if you're lazy, if you don't care, if you're tired, your mouth is gonna start hanging down. And that's one of the things. Zombies don't care, man. they're jerks. But yeah, so this is our current sketch for that. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make the legs a little more extreme. Yeah. Just to kind of, again, because if the legs are kind of more thin, then it just shows how much everything's going up here. So the last thing is going to be just, what is the story with him? Because again, you want a story with it. I think for this guy, we have a lot of infection here. So I'm going to say that he got bit right around here. It's one of those things that you always kind of like wonder, like, how do you get bit in the stomach? So right before I hop into line art, you can see I play with some ideas for developing that stomach wound a little bit more, and I know I want a hole in there, so I just put enough in so I remember later that I was thinking that. But it's going to be kind of an effect that I'm going to feel out later with the line art, but it's still, again, taking the time to sketch, make sure I know where it's going to be placed and that it's not going to interfere with the rest of the design. But one of the big things to remember with this is just simply making the line work clear. You did messy sketches, you've taken your time and just kind of loaded everything up, but now you're making things readable. And again, if anyone wants any more specific tutorials, please comment, and I would be glad to go into shapes of the head or anatomy studies and all that good stuff. And here's a tip that kind of goes for all drawings and designs, but I think especially with large characters like this, focus on big shapes, especially for the silhouettes. It helps make them feel chunky, so let the belly be just a giant circle or oval, or even a wide triangle or pear shape. As long as it's a big shape, so that it's just, again, you see that next to a smaller character and you see the difference in silhouette. The arms, they can be big old rectangles that just come out and shoot out like that. Those large readable shapes will really push it. And of course, here on this belly again, as the focal point, the crux of this mutation. So make sure that, again, you're throwing shapes using the wounds and your mutation right there to build it up, and make sure that the eye is drawn to it. to be clear, you don't want it to be messy. You don't want those shapes to interfere with each other, but you do want it to be visually interesting, which is a balance that you're just going to learn from drawing over and over again and trying out different designs. But yeah, going back to clarity, just make sure, because again, you're trying to sell that this is not just a normal zombie. You're trying to sell that it's been even more mutated. So it's going to get a little visually busy, but you don't want busy to be messy. You don't even really want it to be busy. You want, again, to be visually interesting, but you don't want it to be overloaded. So when you make your line art, you're shifting your brain mode from sketch. Sketch was messy, just get everything out there, taking your time to make sure everything is there, but now you're cleaning it up. You're choosing what lines need to remain as you do your line art. And then for color, it was just the same kind of job as before. Again, if you want color tutorial, please comment below. So yeah, that's our big old mutated chubby zombie. I hope you guys enjoyed the drawing, the video, and that you were able to learn something. We have one more zombie tutorial ready to edit, and we'll be putting it up here soon. But if you like this, please give the video a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know that you want more of this, because I have a lot more mutations and different zombie monsters to show off, and I would love to just share the how-tos and the ins and outs of that. And please, if you make a zombie using any of these tips or tricks, or even a different type of character or monster, please tag us on Instagram at MisfitsArtsy. That's Misfits plural, Artsy with an SY. We would love to see what you do, and always please comment if you want any other tutorials, whether it's a specific type of zombie mutation, something from a pre-existing game or media, or just other creatures in general. I really am thinking about doing a werewolf tutorial soon. So yeah, if that's something you'd like, comment there. But yeah, just because art is another way to cope and get over things, and we can create our own worlds, and I want everyone to have access to that. So until next time, please stay safe and healthy, stay weird, and stay spooky. Bye.